going to get into the video, but let me play my disclaimer. There's a lot of conversations going on. I have to catch up. I was busy yesterday. I did a video in regards to the K's and the J's. Chloe's delusional, and her family loves that she loves Tristan, and she ain't going nowhere. So I kind of did that this morning. Then I had to run a serious errand, and now I am in here, and I am trying to do this video and to catch you guys up. So as you know, everybody's talked about it. I'm 2 days late. Rolling Stone came out with a article, and they're basically talking about Diddy's past. And many people are like, he's been an issue, a problem for a while. So let's get into the disclaimer. 21. Please like, comment, and so thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and please share if you care. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about what's on Instagram, what's on Twitter, what's going on in the news around the world. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. And don't forget, the Cash App is Let's Talk About It Media. And have a great day. Stay positive, stay focused. Okay, so we're going to get into what's being said. As you know, Rolling Stone came out with an article, and they talked about Diddy's past in regards to how he was at school. It was an issue. It was an issue when you listen to what the ex-bodyguard had to say. They did not want Biggie to be hanging out with nobody. They did not, and everybody's talking about how Biggie was going to leave Bad Boy. They were talking about that he shouldn't have been there. Everything that happened with Tupac, that was a concern. The night in regards to what happened at that casino, that was a concern. The bodyguards, see, that's the thing. When you listen to, because I'm careful what I say, when you listen to certain pages, if they would have read the transcripts, they would have knew what was going on with their family. They needed to, it's not just sitting in a courtroom. It's getting the transcripts and a lawyer sitting down with you page by page by page. Because when I listen to certain pages and they talk about the transcripts and they talk about the people around, everything was in those transcripts. Everything was in those law documents. What was going on then? And how we know is because people are reading the actual transcripts from back then. This is said, this is talked about, that's talked about. This person testified. And we see the video. And see, the biggest thing is the security guards. Oh, that's another thing. Because you got to remember when you piece it all together, when Cuba Gooding Jr. was with or near Tupac around the time he passed, they were saying that they almost pulled up on Cuba Gooding Jr. But then somebody realized who he was. So they were about to do that to Cuba. Well, why didn't Tupac have that same energy around people around Tupac that night? Hello, plot planned. I'm telling you, plot planned. When you go over to listen to Cuba Gooding Jr. most recent interview over the last, I want to say it was 2 weeks ago. Was it PD podcast? Some PD podcast. Go listen to Cuba Gooding Jr.'s interview. They almost pulled up on Cuba because he was about to say hi to Tupac. And Tupac was like, no, that's my boy. That's my boy. So then that same energy wasn't there that night. That tells a lot. And that's what Cuba was saying in their interview. Why didn't they have that same energy? Either it was the same day or the day after something. Cuba told a lot when he said he ran into Tupac. He was only trying to say hi. And the boys pulled out and pulled up. And it was about to go down. And luckily, somebody noticed it was Cuba just trying to say hi to Tupac. But this is the biggest thing. When you got bodyguards
Why is this even happening? And this is the biggest thing too. That industry was so tainted. A lot of people around Diddy are now no longer here. Some of the people are still here. Why is that? I don't know. Kim's gone. Tupac's gone. Biggie's gone. Some of the bad boy artists are gone. Think about that. Why is that? And then we see what Cassie went through. And there's still people to this day thinking that everything's cool. There's still people to this day thinking that what we saw, we didn't see. And then he tried to say, oh my gosh, there's been so many situationships that this man has been in, been a part of, and he was basically, people allowed it. If people would have stopped what he did in college, this would have never happened to Cassie, Kim, or any of the women he dated. It did not seem like, and see, in regards to when people talk about J-Lo, if you really listen to videos about J-Lo, J-Lo went through a lot too, in regards to the alleged cheating, in regards to what the bodyguard saw, in regards to him hooking up with possibly. There's been a lot said. And J-Lo stayed in it, I think, for the fame. We don't know everything she went through, but he was disrespectful, alleged. He was disrespectful to J-Lo in like a studio situation. J-Lo asked the bodyguards to take her to the apartment so she could change clothes so she could come back and get them girls together. She was about to get into an altercation about this man, which could have sent her to jail. So they got those girls out of there because J-Lo could have had a situationship because of Diddy. If you really got to dig deep on what was said, what was done, what was going on. If you really listen to Gene spills details about different situations of what happened, what transpired, how he was to people and how he treated people. So Rolling Stone wasn't joking about it's been a decade of regards to how he was problematic. And maybe who was protecting him just didn't want to do it anymore because too many things was going on. Once that Cassie lawsuit came out, there was a lot of people liable and they had to cut ties with him because of the Cassie lawsuit. That started the ball rolling. It did. And no woman should ever have to go through what Cassie went through. CNN put that out. And then if you check out the CNN video I played, CNN is bringing it. And then there's alleged grand jury that's being collected to testify and talk to witnesses. They're putting out things piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece because he still wants to act like he didn't do anything. The Cassie situationship, and see how people didn't read the full lawsuit about Cassie. You could tell, oh, she got paid. Do you understand what she went through? Would you want your sister to go through that? Would you want your aunt to go through that? Yeah, it's a whole situationship. And see, this is the biggest thing. If there's any men that are similar to Diddy that are problematic, they're bringing them down a notch too, saying you could be next. You could be next if you want. Watch what you do. Watch what you say. Let me see. Yeah, Cassie thing was the last straw. I agree. And it put a light on all that she went through. And then it put a light on when she tried to leave. She was called by management, producers. You need to come back, or your album won't be released, or this video won't be released. They should have been sued too. Because they wanted that message for some odd reason got held up for a review. I don't know what you said, but yeah, they didn't like that message. But yeah, they were calling Cassie to come back. And then did you check the video when Diddy sat down with Carisha and Diddy talked about how he cried that Cassie was gone? He cried because Cassie was gone, because his whole life was about to shift and change. And he would have to find somebody like a Cassie to do what he wanted to do. He would have to find like another Cassie to do what she was doing. And see, this is the biggest thing. You got to realize he had a mule, right? He had a mule. So his life has totally changed. His life has totally shifted. because he felt that he was untouchable. He can get away with a lot. And then I saw a report, and this is the sad part. I told y'all, in regards to his children, I feel bad for his kids because they've seen stuff, they've heard stuff, they're experiencing stuff. There's a report alleged that he won't be attending his daughter's graduations. Alleged. Maybe he will and be incognito or just, I don't know. But then they were saying that they didn't see him when they were dressed for the prom. And I don't know. Some are saying that Kimora might have been there. I'm not. Kimora is a trip because look at Kimora's own daughter hanging out with that old man. And then look at, well, Kimora dated Russell at what age? So Kimora's a trip too. So I really wouldn't want, people are like, Kimora should take care of the kids. I really want, no. The one daughter, Kimora, seems cool, but Kimora dated that man. He lied to her. And then there was issue in regards to Kimora and money, and the ex-husband lied and acted like he was the ex-wife trying to get and date Kimora. So I would not advise Kimora to take them kids because she can't even deal with her own daughter. Why would your daughter even think that it's cool to date an older guy that's as old as Russell? Why would a daughter want that? Did you see how that guy looked? Now, if he was 10 years younger, darker hair, more in shape, yeah. But why would the daughter even think? And then remember, Kimora Lee Simmons' daughter was talking to Russell saying, up my allowance or I'm gonna get me a sugar daddy. So no, Diddy's girls don't need to be around Kimora. Because you gotta remember, Kimora was also the one that's trying to tell Chloe, don't let women mess with your baby daddy. What? That don't get me going. But yeah, many people are wondering what really transpired. Just think if this situation would have been handled before Tupac died, before Biggie died, these guys would still be here, possibly. It's interesting how people that get into the industry, once you sign your life away, you're almost better off not being here and they collect for you. Artists need to be independent, for sure. For sure. For sure, because we see that this is a huge concern. And businesses are cutting ties. The other businesses that cut ties was some eyeglass company. So he lost DeLeon. He lost his clothes being in Sears or whatever clothing store. I didn't even know Sears was around. Was it Sears, JCPenney's, or was it Macy's? No, it was Macy's. I think his clothes are no longer in Macy's or whatever store. And then there's this glass eyewear company. And then Peloton has removed him from their current classes. They won't be playing his music. So let's get through some of these clips. Have that Damon Dash spoke out in regard to his disappointment. And he talked about if this was to happen to his daughter, it would be an issue. Most men would feel that. Most men, and I'm praying that women see this situation and get themselves out of a bad situation. A lot of women are looking at their boyfriends right now and saying, no more. You could go to jail. Don't touch me. And that's the problem. If they have children together, trying to be around, and you got to remember, with everything that we had going on with the world, women were stuck in those homes with those men, having an issue daily. Daily. I want to play the clip, but I don't want to get a flag. We could basically see that Damon Dash expressed his disappointment in regards to the video that he saw. Because trust and believe, if the video would have never came out by CNN, dudes from the streets would still be supporting Diddy. Real talk. Street code. Let's protect the guy. Why are they trying to take a man down? Because men like Damon Dash are saying, that's somebody's daughter. I would have a fit if that was my daughter. That could be somebody's mother. That could be somebody's aunt. You know? And so many guys are speaking up and saying, it ain't about taking him down. We've seen what happened. And I keep telling y'all, like the video. There's 9 people in here. Please, I only have 1 like. Please thumbs up the video. There's 10 people in here. Please thumbs up the video. I only have 1 like. It lets everyone know we're live. This is the biggest thing. What we saw in that hotel video, what did she experience in his home? Did Homeland Security get other tapes of what he did to Cassie in that home? Did Homeland Security get other videotapes of what he did to other women in that home? Did Homeland Security get any videotapes of what happens at the after parties? They have a lot of stuff to go through. They're not going to rush for the community. I'm hearing Homeland Security has almost up to 3 years to do what they need to do. You got pages that's saying, oh, this, we don't know if something's going to happen this month, next month. Homeland Security is crossing them T's and dotting them I's. And they're going to continue to do that. CNN is working with. CNN is gathering information. CNN is putting stuff out for a reason. For a reason. Don't think that people aren't going to plot plan. He's been plot planning. Think about when Cassie tried to date somebody else. What was said about Kim trying to date somebody else? What was said about the recent lawsuit when the young lady, the college student, the designer, when Diddy alleged said to her, if you date somebody else, you can't have nobody at your house. If I find out you are with somebody else at your house, it's going to be a problem. Excuse me, what? So some people he probably treated all right, but other people did not treat as well. And it's a concern. It's a concern. So we now have Biggie Mom is speaking out. Biggie Mom speaks out in regards to what happened, in regards to the allegations. I want to slap the daylights out of Sean Diddy Combs. Can you blame her? Mothers, teach your sons, be in a situation where they feel safe. Don't be in a situation where they feel unsafe. This, could you imagine? My prayers go out to Biggie's mom. Tupac's mom is no longer here. But could you imagine what Biggie's mom is thinking, feeling, all the things that's being said, all the alleged allegations? And don't get me wrong, I have to state this, trigger warning, Diddy has not been charged with anything. He hasn't been charged with anything. But many people feel that there's a possibility. I could not even imagine being Biggie's mother and then all the allegations. I saw a video in regards to the niece speaking out that Biggie made it very clear that he was about to leave. I think he had did something on a award stage and they were basically saying he wanted to leave. And the bodyguards told him, don't go, don't go, don't go, don't come out here. Don't be with them this weekend. In the Tupac situation, there was allegations that they couldn't carry what they need to carry as security. Okay, if you can't protect me, I'm not going. And it's a sad thing because I think Tupac was with his girlfriend. She was still at the hotel finding out what was going on with Tupac, and she's at the hotel waiting on him to come back. Women, protect your man. Talk to your man. Don't be around this whole situation. There's a lot that go on once you sign that dotted line to be an artist for a company. And we're finding that when you're not here, they collect. And this is the biggest thing that many people talk about. When you're about to collect your masters and you'll own those masters, something seems to always happen to people. The industry is Hollyweird and sick. I don't understand why people don't talk about it. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. What happens to our young adult men? They get the fame. They don't want to do XYZ. They got these award shows looking away, a certain way, and they're trying to pull people in about the swinging and about going to this party. And then, hearing that things can be put in your drink. Like the video as you guys come in. There's 8 people and I only have 1 like. Like the video as you guys come in. But I don't blame, Biggie's mom for speaking out. She should. And then some of the bodyguards are like, she should have sued. And I don't know if she could now. It's kind of too late. But when you listen to people that talk about the transcripts in regard to Tupac and Biggie, a lot of stuff was in those transcripts. A lot of stuff was in those court documents. A lot was in that stuff. And then you got ex-police officers that spoke about. And then there's a certain case that's sealed. Is it Biggie's case that's sealed? Or is it Tupac's case that's sealed? One of the cases are sealed, and then when it becomes unsealed, they could almost seal it again and not really tell what's going on. A lot happened around that time. And you got to remember, it's being reported that the people for Homeland Security, a lot of those guys didn't even know they were going to Diddy's home. They did not know. They didn't know until they got there. And then the biggest thing is people talk about Kim unfollowing Diddy 2 days before because people are side eyeing Corey Gamble. And how much does he know? I don't blame Biggie's mom for speaking up and speaking out. I don't blame Damon Dash for speaking up and speaking out. And then DJ Khaled, I'm trying to see, I got to look that up. Is DJ Khaled saying much? Or is he MIA from media? Because you figure DJ Khaled, close to him, had a more presence on Instagram. Jay-Z's close to Diddy. I haven't heard much. Thanks for liking the video. There's 7 people in. Please like the video. And, you know, many people are talking about. Biggie's mom is speaking out. She is not happy. I'm sure she's not happy about what she's hearing. Could you imagine? No parent wants to lose a child to an industry. No parent wants to hear allegations. No parent wants to hear that he was so problematic in college. No parent wants to hear that. What else is going on? I'm told, I guess, these girls, let's see, they defend Diddy in the Rolling Stone investigation. Some women aren't smart. I'll do another video on that. Some women aren't smart. Some women could be scared. Because this is the one thing you got to realize. They probably didn't date him. So they might have saw a different side. You don't know who this young lady's father is. You don't know who this girl's father is. Certain men won't mess with certain people because of who their family is. Some people will cause havoc, and you are very cautious of what you do to certain people. Yes, them streets are strong for certain people. So let me see. What is there anything else? I just wanted to do that video. Go over to Gene Deal's most recent interview he did with Art of Dialogue. The Art of Dialogue interviews are really good for Gene Deal. But he had talked about how he feels that he should apologize to Biggie's mom. He said that. Diddy should apologize to his mom. Do y'all agree with that? Or do y'all disagree? We'll see what happens. Many people felt that now that they're collecting, you know, and having a grand jury and victims sit down with the grand jury, and those people are going to make sure that they're protected. We'll see what's going to happen. We'll see what's going to happen. And will this be another situation where we're wondering what really happened? Y'all can piece that together. You know, is he being watched and he can't go to Bali even he wanted to go to Bali? This is messy. The Cassie situation, the Little Rod situation, many people felt Little Rod hung in there kind of just to get a deal going, but then when the deal did not or whatever, mothers, protect your daughters. Aunts, be protected. Mothers, protect your nieces. Protect your sons. You figure Little Rod had a situation. And he's a man. So when people say, oh, Cassie, and then they try and go after Tiffany and Cassie couldn't do anything. You could see the makeup artist didn't even want to tell what she literally saw, possibly. Or they were behind closed doors. But there's just so much going on. George what? Oh, you're talking about Biggie's mom still? Yeah, she's still alive. She's still alive. It was Tupac's mom that's not still alive. Yeah. I don't know when's the last time she's done an interview. It's probably been a while. But I couldn't imagine, as a parent, watching all this stuff unfold, seeing what Cassie went through, hearing what Kim Porter possibly went through. hearing about the alleged check, hearing about the alleged check, hearing about, I don't care if this person goes. I don't care if that person goes. It's concerning, y'all. This Hollywood, actresses deal with stuff too. But musicians, we hear a lot about musicians signing these contracts and then something happens. So I don't blame younger guys for being independent. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Because as soon as you sign that dotted line, and we don't hear too many great stories. When you think about like a Chris Brown, I don't know who he signed with. I don't know who Ludacris is signed with. I don't know who T.I. is signed with. But there's some that have been able, alleged, to escape a lot of the foolery. But when you think about a lot of artists that are no longer here, and then you side eye and saying, well, what really happened? What really happened? So I just wanted to do a quick video. I was supposed to do a video last night to update you guys on videos that I've saw. I might still put that out, but I don't blame Damon Dash for being upset. I don't blame Biggie's mom for being upset. You can go over to, this is coming from the Shade Room. She spoke out in the different articles. There is a heartbreaking video in regards to Diddy physically doing what he did to Cassie. And then somebody was in my comments saying they didn't see the video. I think that was a troll. Everybody saw that video. It was on the news for a week. But yeah, Damon Dash spoke out. Go over to Neighborhood Talk. I just don't want to get flagged. But he's basically talking about, how he feels about this industry and how he feels about, it would be an issue if that happened to his daughter. And that's how most guys are going to feel. That's how most guys are going to feel. Y'all, people, this stuff ain't done. This is going to be going on for about a good 2 years about everything we're going to find out. More and more stuff in the industry is going to be exposed. If you listen to pages and the receipts they have on the people in the industry, it's concerning. It's jaw-dropping. There's certain pages I don't watch no more because they be lying about stuff. And they don't be having receipts, and they be saying RIP to this person, that person in jail. And then you got other pages that's showing this person's in jail. They still got a jail cell number. So yeah, there's certain pages I don't listen to no more because they don't be telling the truth. Or they copy other people and they don't give them credit. So I've been hearing a lot of people are dissatisfied about certain pages that, they just be reading like we do. And they just be reporting like we do. And they be acting like they got exclusives, but they don't. They be reading just like we do, but then they be acting like they be getting exclusive from this person, that person. No, they Google it. You can Google and say, what's the update on Diddy? And they may see it before Neighborhood Talk post about it. They may see it before Shade Room post about it. But yeah, be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. So that's why I do. A lot of times Hollywood Unlocked brings it because other people have maybe talked about it. Sometimes Hollywood Unlocked will get stuff before TMZ. And many people were surprised that it didn't come from TMZ. A lot of people have been calling TMZ out. They have. I'm glad it's coming from CNN. That way it could be worldwide. It could be worldwide. So we'll see what else. We'll see what else CNN got up their sleeve. I played that video yesterday of the newscaster speaking out. Let me see if that video in regards to the newscaster speaking up and speaking out. Let's get to this video.
Are you learning? Good morning, Kate. So this is obviously the biggest escalation since those March raids on Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. We are now hearing that federal investigators are preparing to possibly bring witnesses in front of a federal grand jury in New York City. What we have heard is that possible witnesses have been notified that they could be called to testify. Now, sources do caution that investigators are still in the process of gathering information. In fact, they are still calling in new witnesses, and they have called in some witnesses multiple times. We also hear that the majority of the accusers who have filed these civil lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs have been brought in for questioning, and again, some of them being called in numerous times. We hear that many are cooperating and even handing. Elizabeth, what more are you learning?
Hi, Kevin, Johnson, or Kevin. No, I did not see the video in regards to No Tony. I'll probably have to look that up. I had a busy morning. And then I'm just now getting back, but I'll have to look that up. You had said it twice, but I was trying to get this video going. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I think there's been other people that's been talking about there's a possible video of other stuff that's been going on, but I'll have to look that up. So let's go to the next clip.
Evidence that they feel could be relevant into this federal probe.
Thanks, Kevin.
Now, a spokesperson for Homeland Security did not respond to our request for comment about the presence of a grand jury, but they did confirm that this investigation is presently ongoing.
Elizabeth, what are you learning about the evidence that investigators could be reviewing here?
So, as I mentioned, those federal raids that were conducted on his homes back in March, obviously a lot of people wondering what was seized. Well, we are learning now that federal investigators are in possession of video footage that was taken inside of Combs's residence. We hear that these investigators have been contacting individuals that they have seen on this footage. One person, in addition to the accusers who have filed these civil suits, is a male sex worker. That is what a source tells me, and that they have been brought in for questioning through the over evidence that they feel could be relevant into this federal probe. Now, a spokesperson for Homeland Security did not respond to our request for comment about the presence of a grand jury, but they did confirm that this investigation is presently ongoing.
Elizabeth, what are you learning about the evidence that investigators could be reviewing here?
So let's go to the next clip. CNN's been bringing it, y'all. They really have.
Investigators. Now, when the raids first happened, we had a law enforcement source tell us at CNN.
Please like the video.
The investigation was largely based in sex trafficking, which is what HSI specializes in. Now we are hearing that scope has been widened and that investigators are really looking into all of these claims put forth in these civil lawsuits. That would include not just sex trafficking, but also money laundering and illegal drugs. I have a source who tells me, quote, "This is much bigger than just these lawsuits."
She has a source.
Investigators. Now,
she has a source that's telling her it's much bigger than the lawsuits. Why is that? Because they have the tapes. People are trying to tell what's going on. They don't know what Homeland Security has on those tapes. They don't know who's in the tapes. They don't know what's going on in the tapes. Homeland Security has probably so much footage. You figure they're probably going through footage that's probably 10, 15, 20 years long. They're not going to rush. And see, that's the problem with a lot of YouTubers, bloggers. We want them to get arrested now. We want something to happen now. They're not thinking about y'all. They going through all that stuff. Could you imagine the manpower and the hours of people having to go through tapes, videos, the things they have to see in some of those videos? I mean, we talk trigger warning, but could you imagine sitting there, the man hours of stuff you have to go through? And it has to affect these people on their daily lives. And then you have the Jane Does. You have the Jane Does. You have everything that's being said and done. It's in itself so concerning. I would not want to be the Homeland Security people that have to go through all that tape. all that security footage, have to listen to the conversations. They're not going to rush for bloggers and YouTubers. And this is going on. And yeah, he's going to be arrested in, that was a month ago. Oh, he's going to be arrested in 2 weeks. Girl, please sit down. You don't know. You're not in Homeland Security. Homeland Security didn't even know that they were going to Diddy's home. Oh, it's going to happen in 2 weeks. Oh, it's going to happen in 3 weeks. Oh, I got a source that say, girl, your source that said that a guy was RIP'd and he was just sitting in jail. People been calling that page out. So a lot of times when I listen to Gene Deal, I listen to Gene Deal from the Art of Dialogue. I do. Because they ask him good questions. It's quick clips, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and Gene gives it all. They have really great questions from the Art of Dialogue. But yeah, people are speaking up and speaking out. And if the grand jury is going to sit with these victims and find out what they went through, because what they're trying to do is find out if there's any stuff that's current where the statute of limitations hasn't ran out. Hello. That's what they're trying to find out. Who was affected? And you figure, will Gina be a good witness? Is Cassie gonna have to speak up? Is Carisha gonna have to speak up? Now she's trying to say, oh, she don't like being that on. She was saying that just to sell a card game. Girl, people are not believing you. And then remember how she sat with Jason Lee. Go over to the Jason Lee interview with Carisha. Go over to Carisha's interview with Carisha and Diddy. He talked about how he cried about Cassie leaving him. Yes, dude. People like to control women and keep them there because they don't want to shift their life, change their life. You know, thank goodness Alex Fine, Cassie's husband came into Cassie's life and got her out of a bad situation. Got her out of a bad situation. Even those security guards that are part of law enforcement couldn't get Cassie out of a bad situation. That's the only problem I have with some of these security guards. And there was many. And sometimes they would say stuff happened when they weren't there or they weren't on the shift. But a lot of people didn't take Cassie to the police station. A lot of people didn't take Cassie to the hospital. That's what concerns me about the whole situation. And when you look at pages, because when you look at pages that talk about proffer agreements or whatever they're called, are some people going to be able proffer agreements? What are they called? Y'all help me in the comments. Some of these people may be able to get out of certain situations if they sign some kind of agreement. Some pages are going to be talking about that too. But I thank everybody for being here. We're going to play this again.
Or are you learning?
Good morning, Kate. So this is obviously the biggest escalation since those March raids on Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. We are now hearing that federal investigators are preparing to possibly bring witnesses in front of a federal grand jury in New York City. What we have heard is that possible witnesses have been notified that they could be called to testify. Now, sources do caution that investigators are still in the process of gathering information. In fact, they are still calling in new witnesses, and they have called in some witnesses multiple times. We also hear that the majority of the accusers who have filed these civil lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs have been brought in for questioning, and again, some of them being called in numerous times. We hear that they are cooperating and even handing.
Elizabeth, what more are you learning?
So we're going to get to the next clip. For people that are just coming in,
could be relevant into this federal probe. Now, a spokesperson for Homeland Security did not respond to our request for comment about the presence of a grand jury, but they did confirm that this investigation is presently ongoing.
Elizabeth, what are you learning about the evidence that investigators could be reviewing here?
So, as I mentioned, those federal raids that were conducted on his homes back in March, obviously a lot of people wondering what was seized. Well, we are learning now that federal investigators are in possession of video footage that was taken inside of Combs's residence. We hear that these investigators have been contacting individuals that they have seen on this footage. One person, in addition to the accusers who have filed these civil suits, is a male sex worker. That is what a source tells me, and that they have been brought in for questioning through the evidence that they feel could be relevant into this federal probe. Now, a spokesperson for Homeland Security did not respond to our request for comment about the presence of a grand jury, but they did confirm that this investigation is presently ongoing.
Elizabeth, what are you learning about?
So could you imagine getting a call? Let's think about that. Could you imagine getting a call and they want to talk to you about your past situationship or being around this man?
Investigators. Now, when the raids first happened, we had a law enforcement source tell us at CNN that the investigation was largely based in sex trafficking, which is what HSI specializes in. Now we are hearing that that scope has been widened and that investigators are really looking into all of these claims put forth in these civil lawsuits. That would include not just sex trafficking, so money laundering and illegal drugs. I have a source who tells me, quote, this is much bigger than just these lawsuits. Federal investigators. Now, when the raids first...
So prayers go out to everybody that's involved. Prayers go out to the families. Prayers go out to people that's had to deal with this. Whatever transpires and happens, this is probably going to be going on for the next year or two. I could not imagine being Cassie, being Gina, being Carisha. I could not imagine. I couldn't imagine. Everybody be careful who you involve yourself with. Some people will seem extremely nice, seem extremely caring, charismatic. You know, make sure a friend is with you always. And be careful what you drink. You go to an event, make sure, you know, your drink is covered up. I remember a friend telling me they went to an event and it was for somebody's birthday. And somebody was supposed to be guarding their drink and they didn't. And then they had to order another drink because they didn't wash that one either. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Watch who your surroundings are. Make sure you got a designated driver. Make sure you have your own stuff in your purse. Guys need to be careful too, because it's not just women that's dealing with concerns. And if there is a situationship, he hasn't been charged. I have to say that he hasn't been charged. But just be careful who your surrounding is. There are some people that's out there that's very jealous. And the industry, HOLLYWEIRD, there's so many concerns. And a lot of these people are exposed, and they should be. You know, artists, actresses, you know, they should be able to do what they love. They give us entertainment. They should not have to do X, Y, or Z to get a deal. And the deal shouldn't be shady that you're better off not here than for us to have you here. And then for people that have their masters, people that have their masters, they got to go in hiding for 3 years so they can still be here. There's so much going on, y'all, that people aren't talking about. It's concerning and weird. And those people need to be taken down too. They do. They do. So, well wishes to all. I just wanted to do this quick video. I have some other stuff I have to take care of. And prayers go out to Cassie. Prayers go out to Kim Porter, RIP. It sounds like Kim Porter went through a lot. And you have to remember, Quincy's hearing this stuff. Justin's hearing this stuff. The twins are hearing this stuff. And the part of it is, wonder if the dad put them involved in some of this stuff. And there's video of it. Oh, wee. Oh, wee. You know, he's lived his life. Parents need to be careful. Don't do anything that could get yourself in trouble. Don't do anything that can try and embarrass your children, you know. There's mistakes that happen. Things get misconstrued. But now we have the video. People can't say we have no proof. We have proof now. We have Cassie's lawsuit and we got video now. And alleged, just like Kevin is saying, there's more video out there, stuff I probably even haven't seen yet because I've been so busy this morning and last night. Thanks for being here. Like the video as you guys come in. Like the video as you guys come in. You know, is there anything else you guys want me to cover? I'll try and cover. You can put it in the comments for the replay game. Like the video, share the video, turn on your notification bells. My page last month hit 1 million views for my videos all. So that's 1 million views for my page. That was about 2 months ago. So please subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to hit 50K by the end of the year. I should be able to hit 50K by the end of the year. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And everyone have a great day. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Goodbye.